Wab Kinew, the Premier of Manitoba, is pushing for more police in the province's schools.
The thousands of law enforcement officers in Manitoba, you keep us safe.
Wab Kinew, the former journalist and artist, well, that guy investigated the school-to-prison pipeline and rapped about police brutality. For years, Kinew shed light on the harms of policing on young people. He investigated the impacts of cops in schools for Al Jazeera.
More police means students are more likely to be written up for misbehavior.
And he even dedicated a hip-hop track to a Manitoba teenager who was killed by police.
He started as a good boy, but died in the hood, boy. The city is a jungle, so look out for the woods, boy.
But as Premier, he recently pounced on a high-profile incident of violence at a Manitoba school to call for more policing. Why is Kinew so willing to support a policy whose harms he knows so well? During the last Manitoba election, Kinew's opposition claimed that he had plans to defund the police. But he had no such plans.
I will never defund the police.
The Kinew government's first budget increased police funding by more than 10%, while cutting or freezing many other services. Then, this past summer, a student armed with a sword at a Brandon, Manitoba high school attacked and seriously wounded another student. That's when Kinew urged local officials to consider putting more cops in schools.
But in my personal experience, I've seen that SROs are a positive for my kids' schools and the schools in my community.
Many schools in Manitoba got rid of programs hosting police in recent years, citing budget pressures. But there was also concern from racialized students and their parents that more police in schools made them even less safe. Kinew knows all about these concerns. In 2014, he hosted a documentary feature for Al Jazeera entitled The School-to-Prison Pipeline.
The report found that minority students were far more likely to face disciplinary action or arrest. It also cited schools for widespread use of out-of-school suspensions, 95% of them for nonviolent offenses like disrespect and tardiness.
Kinew's journalism exposed how cop programs in US schools are racist and dangerous. But as a politician in his own country, he ignores local data and testimony.
Students would describe to us how the school resource officers would single them out for attention and then push for extra disciplinary measures, for suspensions and expulsions, and really try to transform these behavioral incidents at school into compelling encounters with the criminal justice system. It was textbook.
Kinew hasn't only reported on these issues, he's reflected on them as a hip-hop artist. In 2010, Kinew recorded a song called Good Boy in honor of Matthew Dumas, an 18-year-old Indigenous youth who was shot and killed in 2005 by Winnipeg police officer Dennis Borek.
You can't kill us. The elders taught us to survive. There's a cop chopper in the sky. Should we run for our lives? No.
Songs like this may provide a clue for Kinew's approach as Premier. While some of his lyrics are critical of police for killing Dumas, his conclusion isn't.
But I believe the two sides can come together.
Apparently, we all just need to get along. While Kinew has repeatedly identified the problem, he doesn't follow it through to its logical conclusion. After all, it's one thing to critique the police and another to take on their power. After the sword attack in Brandon, Manitoba, some have argued that we need cops in schools to prevent or intervene in violence. But as Kinew's own journalism shows, the more that cops are assigned to schools, the more that we will see needless harassment, punishment, and surveillance of students, especially those who are Black, Indigenous, disabled, queer and trans, and poor. Those students, their parents, and community members have fought so hard in recent years for less policing. Instead, they want resources for school support staff, meal and after-school programs, and other things that actually help students to succeed. Kinew knows exactly what they're saying and why they're saying it, but it seems he won't listen until the movement grows strong enough that he can no longer ignore